What's up, Knights? I'm Adamantium, and welcome back for the final time to West of Loathing, specifically the Reckoning at Gun Manor DLC. Today we are here to finish the game and end this series. Finally. It's been a little while, but you've made it to the end. Okay. We just got chalk from the chalkboard. So can I put that on... How do I chalk the queue now? Because I have it. Okay, challenge into a game. You chalk up your cue to ghost rack to the balls. It's a close match. You have to consult that geometry book a few times just to work out all the angles. The game comes down to a fight for the 8-ball, and you manage to barely squeak out the win when a ghost catches the unlucky bounce off the corner of the pocket. Well, shucks. Nice shooting, Tex. He flips you a finger gun salute, winks, and fades into nothingness. Hooray! Well, that's that ghost taken care of. Okay. I wonder how you get to the trap door. I gotta be able to find a ladder somewhere. A wild tea bush. That probably could be for the tea set. Take some leaves. You got tea surface with tea leaves. Okay. And now how to make tea? What about the boiling water, maybe? In the boiler room. You know how you can make like hot mud? I wonder if I'll be able to make it into regular old hot tea. Oh yeah, tea service with tea. Okay, let's go out of here. And we'll go bring the tea service to the little girl. I got tea for you. Hello again, sir. Did you find some real tea? I sure did. Here you go. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. She serves the tea and the four of you. Okay, well, not the doll. Sip it with your pinkies extended in genteel fashion. Then with a giggle and a wave, she fades away. Rest in peace, kiddo. Oh, thank God. I thought that would have never been over. Look at me. I'm shaking like a leaf. Kind of a freaky situation, right? Having to deal with a little kid freaks me out bad enough. Having to interact with the ghost of one was horrifying. Anyway... Thanks for the rescue. I need to get back to work. What do you do here? I run the candy counter in the visitor center. Oh, huh. Okay. Where can I find a ladder? Like, how is there another ghost on this floor yet? One on the third, one on the second. Maybe I have to finish the rest of the ghosts and then come back and Miss Gun will be a ghost? I don't know. So we're reading the almanac. The book is almost entirely tables and numbers labeled things like logarithmic of the radius vector of the Earth. You could look up any day in the year 1878 in it. Who knows if you'll be able to figure anything out from what it gives you. July 29th. That's when McCready is ready to be executed. Let's see. Wow, wait a minute. According to this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day, centered right over the Western Territories, and with its totality at 2:47 p.m. That's a hell of a thing. I looked up July 29th in an almanac. I get this. There was a total eclipse of the sun that day. What? Nate just messing with me. No, look for yourself. Totality at 2:47 p.m. right over the Western Territories. Well, that's quite a thing, but I don't see how that affects... Wait, unless you're suggesting... Right, it was the perfect opportunity for McCready to escape. That's absurd. Absurd like a fox. You said yourself that McCready was really good at remembering dates. He could have read about the eclipse at any time and stored that knowledge away for future use. Like to give himself an advantage in a duel or something. Alright, that's reasonable as far as it goes, but McCready couldn't have worked the eclipse into an escape plan because he didn't have any say over the court schedule. You said, what with one thing and another, trial didn't start until July 25th. McCready could have caused any number of those delays himself. by faking an illness in prison or messing with the horses on the ride to Frisco or anything. This also could explain the trial by combat. I mean, there ended up being too much delay, so if a regular trial went on too long and he was found guilty, he'd have missed that eclipse. Exactly, whereas if he called for trial by combat, everything would be resolved one way or the other in only one more day. Maybe you'd win and that'd be fine, but if you lost, he could use his escape plan. I have to admit, it's pretty compelling, but it all maybes and what ifs. Yeah, well, maybe it happened, but maybe McCready was rescued by leprechauns. Oh man, are there leprechauns in Frisco? You need some kind of hard evidence before this is any more than just a fun story, is what I mean. Well, let me ask you something else. What's up? How can I find evidence of McCready's escape? Well, we don't know that an escape even happened. True, something like that would have been in the news for certain. Okay, I'll see what I can find. You find a few bundles of old newspapers at the bottom of one shelf, the Frisco Newsinator. You start at the bottom of the stack and flip through them until you find the paper for the week of July 28th, August 3rd, 1878. The main feature has to do with the eclipse and various accidents and spectacles that occurred because most people weren't expecting it. The editor apologized for burying the announcement in the previous week's weather forecast. Most notably, all 3 men scheduled to be hanged on the 29th escaped in the confusion, and only 2 of them were recaptured. Unfortunately, their names aren't given. You don't find anything else relevant to the case, however, as you're putting the papers back in order on the shelf, a headline over the more recent issue catches your eye. Husband of famous inventor missing. The article is light on information, but apparently Miss Gunn's husband Dan vanished on the road while traveling to Dirtwater on business about 6 years ago. Law enforcement suspected bandits, but no evidence was found. That's kind of grim. On a newspaper article, the guy is scheduled to be executed the day the eclipse escaped, and one of them was never caught. Which one? Well, didn't say, did it? Nope. Damn it. And executed criminals aren't given gravestones with their names on them, so you can't just go looking around Frisco Cemetery to find out. Listen, Bert, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, but at this point you would have to actually find McCready himself to prove he wasn't executed due to my failure. Well, I guess that's what I'll do then. How am I supposed to find it? Your guess is as good as mine. Commands he got as far as the heck away from Frisco as he could, though, if he's the one that escaped. Yeah. Ever heard of a feller named McCready? McCready? Nope, don't ring a bell. It would have been about 17 years ago. Heck, I got a long memory, but not that long. I only started working here 6 or 7 years ago anyhow. What about the guest register? We've only kept those for the last couple of years. The only place I know might have records as far back as what you need would be the post office. Okay, thanks. So now I go to the post office and talk to this lady. Trying to find a guy named McCready. There's a possibility he might have passed through here about 17 years ago. Passed through? We don't stamp passports here. Yeah, If he stayed here for a while, I might have a forwarding address. Oh, can you check, please? Alright, them books could use a dust anyway. One sec. She pulls some big ledgers out of her desk and blows a huge cloud of dust in the air, then starts leafing through them. 17 years. Around about 78 then? 76, 77, 78. Moran, Mapleston, Mac Murphy. McCready. Got a Matt McCready. That the one? That's him. No foreign address, but you could ask at his old place, just out to the northwest of here. Let me see your map. Oh yeah, it looks like you already got it here. Desert House, that's the one. Thanks. So now I go to the Desert House. And I can dig up this here. You dig until your shovel hits a wooden coffin and hold the lid open. A skeleton blinks to you. Or, well, it doesn't. But anyway. Howdy? Howdy, are you guilty, McCready? Well, now, I ain't heard that nickname in, what year is it? 1895? 17 years? No, I tell a lie. There was that one time 8 years ago. Same McCready that escaped the gallows during an eclipse? Ha, well now since the statute of limitations is expired, I might as well fess up. Yep, that was me. Real sweet plan, too. Apart from that one little hitch, it went off smooth as silk. Even worked in a little misdirection to lead the lot of them other 2 fellas instead of me. Serves them right, too. They was real murderers, not like me. I never killed a man except in a fair fight. Except that one little hitch you mentioned? You miscalculated how long to delay the trial. So in order not to miss these clips, you called for trial by combat. Oh, well, yep, that's the truth of it. You're blaming me for Mrs. Wainwright's death, I suppose? Why didn't you just trust her? She would have gotten you declared innocent. She had a real good head on her shoulders. But so did that prosecutor fella. I didn't rate the odds better than 50-50. Not good enough. And anyway, trial by combat was part of her job. She should have been ready. That stinks. She trusted you. She's a ghost now because she feels guilty about losing that trial. I spent ages trying to convince her you weren't innocent, and she backed out every step of the way despite the fact that you got her killed, and you don't even care. Hell, you bite your tongue, sonny. You don't know me. Don't care. I did what I felt I had to do to stay alive. I felt damn guilty about what happened to Ms. Wainwright, but I ain't taking all the blame for it. No, sir. She'll tell herself she should have been better prepared, just like she told me that day, apologizing with her last breath. I gave up gunfighting for her. Gave up the only thing I live for. That's how I felt about it. You gave up gunfighting? Weren't easy, but I did. Bought this house, bought this land, raised some chickens, and had a little vegetable garden. Place has gone to hell since I died. That's a shame. Anyway, I never fired my pistol again, not even at a damn fence post. That's not what it says on your grave. Oh, read it again. That's the fellow what killed me, having a little ironic joke, I reckon. Someone killed you? You're only the second person to track me down. First one was 9 years after the trial. Big Timsbury, brother, hunting for revenge. What happened? He challenged me to a duel, and I told him I ain't doing that no more. He asked again, and I said no, and he hollered at me, and I took my pistol out the closet and threw it at his feet so he could see how the cylinder was all rusted shut. And he cocked his gun and asked me one last time, and I said no, and last thing I remember is the bang. Jeez. Kinda him to bury me, though. Guess you weren't all bad. Do you want to see Felicity again? I could take you to her. Ghost. Nah, I reckon I'll just go back to sleep. Ain't right. A dead fellow walking around. Just tell her sorry for me, alright? Here, you can give her my pocket watch. She'll recognize it. Alright, bye, MacCready. So long, fella. Okay. What now? I found MacCready's grave. He wasn't executed. You're 100% certain it's him? Not some other man named MacCready? It was him. Here, he gave me this watch to give you. She turns the watch around in her hands for a while, just looking at it without saying anything. Then she slowly winds it and listens to the chime the hour. Yes, this is his watch, all right. Thank you. Wait, you said he gave it to you? He's alive? Not exactly. He's a skeleton. He talked for a while, and then he asked me to bury him again so he'd go back to sleep. What did he say? He confirmed our guesses. He knew about the eclipse in advance and stalled the trial for his escape plan, but stalled it too long and decided to hedge his bet by calling for trial by combat. I see. He gave up gunfighting. He what? He bought a little house and raised chickens. Never fired his pistol again. In fact, he left it to rust. 9 years later, Timsbury brother caught up to him and challenged him to a revenge match. MacCready refused repeatedly, so the guy shot him. He said to tell you he was sorry. She looks at you silently for a moment, then looks at the watch. She winds his hands back a minute and listens to it chime again. She sighs and shakes her head, then smiles at you. Thank you, Bird. You make a damn fine attorney. She shakes your hand and face reviews. She does so, leaving her attorney badge in your hand. Rest in peace, counselor. No, I took care of her. Oh, thank God. I gotta go wash this flower off and get back to work. But first, he starts frantically scratching every part of his body. Man, feels like I've been saving up these itches for days. I was about to go crazy. Thanks, Bird. You're a lifesaver. No problemo. Come see me at the visitor center. I'll hook you up with a souvenir photograph. See ya. So now I have all the ghosts. Other than one. On the 3rd floor. Which I still don't know how to get to. But maybe if I talk to Miss Gunn. The ghost hunters. Whatever. I do feel significantly less haunted. Did you get rid of all the ghosts? We sure did, ma'am. Actually, my scanner says there's still one. Shh. Yes, ma'am. All ghosts accounted for. Well, that's splendid. Come right in. Thanks. Yeah, she's the ghost, of course. Break in case of attic. I got an attic opening stick. Hello, Miss Gunn. Hello, Bird, was it? Thank you so much for getting rid of all those ghosts for me. Yeah, about that. Turns out there's one left. Oh dear, well, I'll need you to take care of it before I can pay you. Miss Gunn, I got some bad news for you. Oh, what's that? It's you. You're a ghost, ma'am. Well, I'll be. When did that happen, I wonder? My condolences. Why, thank you. You're very kind. You know, this does explain some things. Like what? Well, I haven't had any appetite for months. Nearly a year, in fact. They keep sending food up from the kitchen in the dumbwaiter, but I've just been dropping it out the window and sending the empty plates back so the chef won't have feelings hurt. There's also the fact that you're, well, translucent. Yes, I thought it was just the cataracts. Miss Gunn, this prompts a question, you know. Oh, what's that? Why are you a ghost? Well, I'm sure... I don't know. You're the expert. Perhaps you can tell me. Ahem. Actually, that's me. I'm the expert. Do you have some kind of unfinished business? Something that's tying you to this place? Well, now that you mention it, yes, I suppose I do. Do you mind telling me about it? My entire family disappeared a few years ago. My husband and 3 daughters. Oh yeah, I heard about that. I'm sorry for your loss. The sheriff suspected that they've been kidnapped for ransom, but no one ever made any demands. They just vanished. I never found out what happened. I always thought they were taken away by ghosts. Why'd you think that? I always felt guilty about how many people have been killed by my invention. The belt buckle? The gun. Oh, right. I used to worry that their ghosts would come back to haunt me. When I built this house, I had an electrical anti-ghost field installed in the walls of this room, so they couldn't get in. No way, awesome. Wait, doesn't that affect you? Well, I'm sure it would if I attempted to walk through the wall, but it never occurred to me to try. Aha. After Dan and the girls disappeared, I became so sure that ghosts had gotten them that I locked myself in here after donating the rest of the house to this historical society so that there'd be someone to look after the place. Now I feel rather silly about the whole thing. Silly? I mean, ghosts do exist, obviously. Well, yes, but now that I'm a ghost myself, I can sense the presence of other ghosts, and they only just arrived in this house yesterday or the day before. That was when I called for an exterminator. You know, I didn't even question how I knew they were here, but I don't think they've been ghosts here before then. Why did they all show up yesterday? I couldn't say. They all seemed to be very angry and confused, but since they couldn't get in here, they gave up and started just wandering around the house. They gave up quite easily, actually. Maybe because you're already a ghost yourself. Well, Miss Gunn, what are we going to do with you? What do you mean? You did contact me for 13 ghosts, ma'am. You're the 13th. Oh yes, obviously. I could simply renegotiate the number with you, but perhaps you should go ahead and exercise me or whatever you do. I'd rather find a more peaceful solution. A peaceful solution? What do you mean? Well, we can also release you from your ghostitude by solving the problem that's keeping you here. In your case, I guess that means finding out what happened to your family. Oh, well, I'd be very grateful if you could. I assume they're dead, and to be honest, I think I've gotten used to the fact, but I surely would like to know what actually happened. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Are they going to be up in the attic? Just a thought, right? Like, what if when I go up here, they're up there? Hey, who the heck are you? I'm Bert Holiday, but since I'm not the guy who's apparently hiding out in Miss Gunn's attic, I feel like you ought to be the one answering the question. Who am I? Well, that's just friggin' typical. I'm Chet Bullet, damn it. Am I supposed to have heard that name before? Yes, you damn well should have. Miss Gunn's invention would have been nothing without mine. Wait, let me guess. You invented the bullet? Phew, I thought for sure you were going to say belt buckle again. Oh shoot, now I want to change my guess. You're damn right I invented the bullet, but I was her assistant, so I didn't get any credit. Hell no. So it sounds like you got an axe to grind. Not for much longer, heh. Ah, jeez. Yeah, it looks like we found the bad guy. Okay, Chet, go ahead and tell us the details of your whole nefarious plan. I don't care much for your tone. Why should I tell you anything? Well, I could just set you on fire with my mind, but I prefer words to incoherent screaming. Well, it's too late for you to stop me anyway, so I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. Certainly not as much as not telling me would. When Miss Gunn dies, control the company and patent passes to me. I'm no murderer, mind you. I like to keep my hands clean. But I figured there might be some other people who'd have a bone to pick with her, considering their manner of death. You summoned all the ghosts. That's right. All it took was some basic seance equipment wired up to the house's belfry for amplification. A snap for a mechanical genius like me. But seance gear summons ghosts related to the summoner. That's the whole point of a medium, a person who knows how to direct the summoning of someone else's behalf. So you get to talk to your own grandma instead of the summoners. You don't seem like the medium type to me. More like a small, but that does explain something I've been wondering about. Oh? Didn't make any sense for all the ghosts here to be haunting Miss Gunn, because some of them weren't killed by guns, but they were all killed by bullets. Naturally, I anticipated that there'd be a couple of those. That's why I rigged this room with anti-ghost field, which I cleverly boosted so the ghosts couldn't even sense me up here. So your plan was to summon a bunch of angry ghosts who would initially be looking for you, but would haunt Miss Gunn instead when they couldn't find you. Correct, and once they hunted her to death, Gun Industries would be all mine. I'd hate to be the bearer of good news, but Miss Gunn is dead. On the bright side, she's been dead for a year, so you pretty much wasted your time. What? Really? Hahaha, I'm rich. Now I just need to get out of here without all those ghosts spotting me. Yeah, the ghosts are gone too. So you're pretty much in the clear. Wonderful, the anti-ghost field is pretty effective, but it was starting to make the back part of my brain itch. He flips a switch on the electrical device, and you suddenly become aware of the absence of extremely low frequency hum right on the edge of your hearing. There's something else I want to ask you about. Ask away. What happened to Miss Gunn's family? Oh, them? They've been out of the picture for years. I heard a rumor. Dan got killed by desperados and buried in a shallow grave out in the backside of nowhere. But of course I wouldn't actually know anything about that. Hee hee. Lucky for me, since I couldn't inherit the company with him around or their daughters. You son of a... Relax, the girls are fine. I'm not a monster. Pretty sure you're a monster. That's a weird little island kingdom somewhere on the other side of the ocean. Apparently it's stuck in some kind of bizarre temporal field that keeps nearly anyone from entering or leaving. Can't even find the place if you don't know how. Fortunately, I know a guy who knows how, so I gave the girls 3 free tickets to sleepaway camp. Wasn't that nice of me? You're an absolute bastard. Aw, that hurts my feelings. Fortunately, I'm about to have a whole lot of money to console myself with. Why, you... Hold on. We should talk to Miss Gunn first before you tear this ass a new hole. Huh, I thought you said she was dead. Depending on what she says, you might be too. Hi, Miss Gunn. Hello again. Have you managed to find anything out? Yeah, I have good news and bad news. Go on, I'm ready. Chet Bullet had your husband killed and your daughters kidnapped, so he'd be the sole inheritor of your company when you died. He's also the reason all the ghosts were here. That son of a... I should have suspected something when he suddenly started being ingratiating back then. And when he wrote off desperados on his expense account. I'd write him out of my will, but I suppose it's too late. That's rather galling news. What's the good news? He says your daughters are safe. They're just on a magical island somewhere that no one can get to. That's not exactly comforting, but at this point I'll take it. Plainly, if he wanted to kill them, he'd have just done so. Wait, you spoke to him personally? Yeah, he didn't know you were already dead, so he's been hiding in your attic for the last couple of days, waiting for the ghost to kill you. What do you want me to do with him? Sigh, I'll leave it up to you. I'm not in a state to make any reasoned judgment. In any case, you've answered my question and I can feel myself moving on already. Thank you for all your help. With a sad wave, his gun fades from view. Then almost as an afterthought, the lock on her desk drawer opens. Inside you find a check written out to Cunningham Ghost Annihilation Services with Flo Snags with a cha-ching and a blueprint. Miss Gunn's blueprint. Alrighty. Okay, last thing I'm going to do for the episode is over is apparently if you set the bells to blue, it summons ghosts to fight Chet. Boo. As the eerie sounds of the bells fade away, ethereal outlines begin to appear around you and resolve one at a time into familiar spirits. Monsieur Lardis and the lady who was running the Boo and Breakfast and the librarian, you really didn't get many of their names. Maybe you should be better about introducing yourself to people. Anyway, you're soon surrounded by a small crowd of ghosts, with Miss Gunn being the last to arrive. This is the bell tower in my house, Bird. What happened? Yeah, nice to see you again, but what's up, counselor? I suppose you're all wondering why I summoned you here today. I did just ask you that, yes. Well, I've come to some information that I think you all might be interested in. This won't take long, will it? I need to get back to the afterlife. What's the hurry? They got all-you-can-eat buffet with every kind of meat in nugget form. Oh my gosh. You unholster your pistol and slowly put it against your temple. Can't get there that way, you dummy. Rats. You put the gun away. Anyway, let me explain. Felicity, how did you feel when you got here? Originally, I mean. Well, I remember being very angry. I wanted revenge for my death, but the feeling went away pretty quickly, and I couldn't remember why I felt like that. I'm not the vengeful type. Doesn't even really make sense in your case. Yes, exactly. I never bore an ill will toward the prosecutor that shot me. Was it basically the same for the rest of you? Just like that, yes. Myself as well. Me too. Thought so. Well, here's the deal. You were all summoned for an explicit purpose of taking revenge on Miss Gunn here. Attendees, I was not killed by Gun. I wasn't either. Yeah, some of you weren't. The summoning happened based on your connection to the summoner himself, Chet Bullet, the inventor of the bullet. But he was hiding with an anti-ghost technology and assumed that enough of your death would be unrelated that you'd turn your attention to Miss Gunn instead. Well, that's just dirty pool, and I should know considering I got shot for playing dirty pool. The thing is, he didn't even know that Miss Gunn was already a ghost, so with no one to take revenge on, you all just reverted to your regular state of mind. Huh, well, I appreciate the info, but was it really necessary to call us all back here just to tell us that? What I really want to tell you is that Chet Bullet has turned off his anti-ghost field. He's over there on the other end of the attic. Now, I'm not going to make any noise about how he's ultimately responsible for all your death, because that would be both crazy and also belittle the actual circumstances of your death. But Chet Bullet murdered Miss Gunn's husband, kidnapped her daughters, and attempted to use you all to kill Miss Gunn herself. If y'all are interested in a little frontier justice, 13 is a pretty good number for a posse. The ghosts all turn to look at each other, and their eyes begin to glow red. The hunter is the first to leave the circle, closely followed by a poacher. Soon they've all left except for Felicity Wainwright and Miss Gunn. Miss Gunn looks hesitant for a moment, then seems to make up her mind. She gives a stern nod, then follows the other. Turn away and soon hear a man screaming, but the sound quickly decreases in volume as though you were being pulled a great distance away, and then it's gone entirely. I figured you wouldn't be into it, Felicity. Yeah, despite everything, I still believe in the rule of law. Didn't see you trying to stop them, though. Nope. No, you certainly didn't. Well, I wouldn't keep you any longer. Happy trails, counselor. You too, counselor. She fades away with a wink. All's well that ends well. Well, that's it. You reckon that your careful recon of the situation has brought us a true reckoning to Gun Manor. Congratulations on getting the best ending. Feel free to wander around the grounds and enjoy the scenery, maybe wrap up some loose ends, but otherwise you're pretty much done here. Thanks for playing the Reckoning at Gun Manor. Well, there we go. That is going to be the end of this episode and this series. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I'd love to see you back in the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. All that good stuff. It really means the world to me. And always remember to wear adamantium armor.